Am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my first-class seat to my mother-in-law on a family vacation? I, 30F, have been married to my husband, Jake, 32M, for 4 years. I travel frequently for my corporate job and have managed to accumulate a massive amount of airline miles and elite status. A few months ago, Jake's family decided to plan a big group trip to Hawaii to celebrate my father-in-law's 60th birthday. Everyone was responsible for booking and paying for their own flights and hotel rooms. Jake and I booked our tickets, and I used a large chunk of my personal airline miles to upgrade both of us to lie-flat first-class seats. The flight from our city to Hawaii is over 10 hours, and I suffer from chronic back pain, so being able to lie down is a huge physical relief for me. My in-laws, including my mother-in-law Susan, 58F, father-in-law, and sister-in-law, all booked standard economy tickets. We didn't mention our first-class upgrade in the group chat because we honestly didn't think it was a big deal. Fast forward to the morning of the flight. We all met up at the gate terminal. When the gate agent finally announced priority boarding for Group 1 and First Class, Jake and I grabbed our carry-on bags and stood up to get in line. Susan looked confused and asked where we were going, pointing out that her boarding pass said Group 5. When Jake explained that we were in First Class, Susan's face lit up. She immediately turned to me, held out her hand, and said, "Oh, how wonderful. It's so sweet of you to treat the birthday boy and me to the luxury seats. Hand over the boarding passes. We'll see you two when we land." I politely laughed, genuinely assuming she was making a dad joke. She wasn't. She stood there, fully expecting me to hand over thousands of dollars worth of upgrades and walk back to take her 2 economy middle seats in row 38 near the bathrooms. I gently told her no. I explained that I had paid for these upgrades using my own hard-earned work miles specifically to manage my back pain and that we would not be switching. Susan was instantly furious. She loudly proclaimed to the crowded gate area that it was incredibly disrespectful for a young, able-bodied couple to sit in the lap of luxury, while her elderly husband, who runs marathons and is in perfect health, suffered in coach on his birthday trip. She turned to Jake, expecting him to order me to hand over the tickets. Jake, looking terrified of causing a public scene, mumbled something to me about how maybe we could just give them the seats just this once to keep the peace. I looked Jake dead in the eye and firmly stated, "I'm sitting in this seat I paid for. If you want to go sit in row 38 and give your mother your seat, that is your choice." Jake stayed with me, but Susan burst into theatrical tears, loudly claiming I was a selfish, wicked daughter-in-law. We boarded the plane, and I slept comfortably, but the moment we landed in Hawaii, the vacation became an absolute nightmare. For the entire 10-day trip, Susan refused to speak to me directly. She made passive-aggressive comments at every group dinner about how some people have zero respect for family hierarchy. Now Jake's sister is texting me, saying it was incredibly tacky of me to flaunt my travel perks and that a good family member would have just surrendered the seats to be a gracious host. I feel like I earned my miles and shouldn't be penalized for planning ahead, but my husband's family thinks I ruined the trip.